Hello my friends, for this review we're going to take a look at the brand new Mcfarlane Toys DC Multiverse Nightwing figure. So first of all, thank you to my friends at Mcfarlane Toys for sending me this action figure for review. And so I'm going to take a look at the figure first, and then I'm going to compare him to a gang of other Nightwing figures that I own. And I know I've gotten a lot of feedback on my Instagram, more questions for comparing him to other figures, so we'll get into that. But first, let's take a look at the figure. So here he is. This is the new Mcfarlane DC Multiverse Nightwing figure. So let me just kind of pose him right there. So before I get into the articulation and all that, first just my overall impressions of the figure. I really like this figure. It's a really nicely sculpted figure. I love the design of the figure. The head sculpt is really nice. I love the Screama sticks or Screama sticks, and you can remove them, and I'll show you that in a second. I like the body and all that. My biggest complaint so far is just that his arms are really thin. That's really it. His arms just kind of look a little out of proportion to the rest of his body. It's not that bad once you start posing him in different ways, but just initially when you look at the figure, that is the first thing that kind of draws your eye, is that his arms are a little bit, let me bring him closer, a little bit small. And you can't even really see that much in this video, but that's really my only gripe with this figure, is just that. Just his arms are a little thin. He needs a little bit more muscle on his arms. And then as far as articulation goes, he's got a ton of articulation. So you can see it here at on the foot, the heel, the knees. He's got a range of articulation on the shoulder. So this ball joint on the shoulder is fantastic. He looks great. I love the head sculpt. I really like, and I love the kind of like the collar area, the way that came out. There we go. I zoom in there a little bit. So yeah, just overall, yeah. Still, like, even right there, when you start posing him, you might notice a little bit more, you might notice a little bit less. But yeah, just really that's it. The arms could be a little thicker, but yeah, other than that, it's a great figure. So even like kind of pose like that, you can't even notice it. And then the Screama sticks, if I take those out, these were a little difficult to get into his hands. I actually had to kind of bend them initially to do it. They go in fine now, but it was just really hard to get them in at first, but they're not too bad now, but there they are. And I really like the Screama sticks that, please correct me if it's Screama or Screama sticks, that this guy comes with. They're really big. Kind of remind me of the ones from the Titans TV show, which I'm a big fan of. So let's see if I can get a... Oh, that didn't focus on what I wanted to. There you go. So it's just a really cool thing. So yeah. But there's the figure. Let me turn him around a little bit. So the back's great. I mean, he's got holders for the sticks. The boots look good. It's all very comic accurate. And yeah, I think overall it's a great figure. Again, my minor quibble was the arms could have been a little bit beefier, but really that's about it. See, like even when I kind of pose him like this, you can't even notice that. So it's a great figure. I definitely recommend it. So yeah. So now the big question I've been getting from a lot of people is, how does it compare with the DC Direct, especially the recent DC Essential figure? And I'll let you be the judge of that. So I'm going to put him back in line with all these other DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures, and of course our Mattel Multiverse figure. And you can kind of see how he fits in there. So this is the original Jim Lee one, and I'm going to be gentle with moving him because the leg on mine is kind of wonky. But I'll move him out of the way so you can see kind of a side-by-side with the DC Essentials. Here's a DC Direct figure. I'm sorry, that's a DC Collectibles. Here's a DC Direct on the left. So let me zoom in a little bit. So there you go. Let's bring in the Mattel figure. Obviously, Mattel is a 6-inch scale, so it looks pretty small compared to these guys, but still a nice figure. But yeah, so the question I keep getting is, hey, which one would you rather have, the Mcfarlane or the DC Collectibles one? That's a really tough question to answer because there's things I like and don't like about both of them. On the DC Collectibles one, I don't care for the sticks he comes with. They're like really tiny little Screamer sticks, you can see. They're really small, and there's no holders for them. And his arms are a little bit too long on his one, on the DC Collectibles one. And then on the Mcfarlane one, like as I mentioned, his arms could be a little bit beefier. But I really like the sticks he comes with, and I love the head sculpt. I love the head sculpt on both of them. So really, I'll be honest with you, it's a draw for me which one is better. I think either one are great figures. If you can, I would just buy both of them. They're both about the same price point right now. I guess not all of you are as crazy as I am and need, like, as you can see here, 4 different versions of the same type of Nightwing suit. So I understand if you just want to kind of have one definitive figure for your collection. It's up to you. So you can see the difference. The new Mcfarlane one is definitely a little bit taller than the Essentials one, because the Mcfarlane ones are, slightly bigger than the DC Collectibles figures, but almost in scale. They still look pretty great. So yeah, there they are. But again, I really like this Nightwing figure, the Mcfarlane Nightwing figure. It's a great figure, even with my minor criticisms. It's totally worth purchasing. It looks great. It's gonna look great on your shelf. I mean, it's Nightwing, so so he's just a great character, and I think he's definitely worth your time. All right, there you are. So anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this review, and if you have any questions, please put it in the comments. Thanks so much, and have a great day.